This is the speaking test of International English Language Testing System taking place on 12th of December at 10 Miss School English Center, center number EL087. The candidate is Mr. MD Nafeez Ahmed. The candidate number is 075711. The examiner is Qazi Tahsin Raihan. The examiner number is 53719. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your full name, please?
My name is Nafeez Ahmed.
And what should I call you?
You may call me Nafeez.
Okay. So, Mr. Nafeez, may I see your identification, please?
Sure, here's my passport.
Thank you. All right. So here you go. Thank you. So let's get started with the first part. In this first part, I'm going to ask you some questions related to yourself. So let's talk a little bit about patience. What do you think patience is?
Well, I believe patience is the ability to remain calm while facing challenges or obstacles. Rather than that, if I'm not frustrated or depressed, if things don't get the way I thought, I can tell that I'm a patient person.
Do you think that patience is important?
Well, I think this is really important because if I have patience, I can take decisions more wisely, and in terms of long-term decisions, it really helps a lot.
So, do you think you're a patient person?
Well, I like to believe that I'm a patient person, but unfortunately there are times when I lost my patience. For example, last week when I was trying to cross a road and I was maintaining all the rules and regulations, but a car hit me and the driver started yelling at me. And at that time I lost my patience and I yelled back at him.
Right, now let's move on and talk a little bit more regarding politeness. So, are you a polite person?
Well, I don't think I'm the correct person to judge whether I'm polite or not, but my mother and my sister and other relatives always told me that I'm a polite person, so I like to believe in their thoughts. Rather than that, there are times when I went to interviews and so on, they also told me the same, so yes.
Is it important to be polite?
I think it is. It's because if I'm polite, the society will accept me more than ever. If my teacher asks me something and I'm polite, he will behave differently, rather when I'm not polite. So I think this is really important, and it also shows. It also can indicate my family status. So yes, this is important.
So what do you do if someone is not polite to you?
Well, I like to tell them directly that this is not right, but in real life, I can't do that because this is rude. So most of the time, I keep remain silent.
Thank you very much. That is the end of part 1. Now we'll move on and দেখে নিব Mr. Nafeez তার part 1 এ কি mistakes করেছেন. Part 1 এ ওনার বেশি কোনো mistakes ছিল না, other than উনি একটা ওয়ার্ড বারবার ইউজ করছিলেন, polite. So যে কোনো ওয়ার্ডের repetition আমরা avoid করার ট্রাই করব. What we could have said instead of polite, we could have said humble or maybe down to earth and so on. এই ধরনের কথাগুলো ইউজ করতে হবে, and তার কথা এত vocabulary heavy ছিল না, কিন্তু তার mistakesও ছিল না. IELTS is not about using fancy words and so on. আমাদের clear communication এর দিকে বেশি ফোকাস করতে হবে. So তার speech absolutely well organized ছিল. উনি একটা particular place-এ rather than that ইউজ করেছেন. Rather than that এর বদলে মেবি উনি বুঝাইতে চাইছেন other than that মানে কি besides or additionally, something like that. কিন্তু rather than that তখনই আমরা ইউজ করব যখন rather than that এর আগে এবং পরে বিপরীত ধরনের কথা থাকে। কিন্তু ওনার স্পিচ অনুযায়ী উনি তার কথার সাথে additional কিছু ইনফরমেশন অ্যাড করতে চেয়েছিলেন। So the proper way of saying it would have been other than that or besides or additionally, moreover and so on, not rather than that. So এটা একটু ছোট্ট একটা mistake ছিল, but let's move on to part 2 to know how good Mr. Nafeez does in his individual long run. Now, let's get started with part 2. In this part, I'm going to give you a topic, and on that topic, you'll have to speak for 2 minutes. But before that, you'll have 1 minute of preparational time, for which I have given you a paper and a pencil. You can take notes if you want. Do you understand? Okay. So I want you to describe a website that you often use. You can take the cue card, and your 1 minute of preparational time begins now. So your 1 minute of preparational time is over. Now, could you start speaking, please?
Well, I like to lead a productive lifestyle, but unfortunately I spend most of my time in a website which is called Facebook. So Facebook is basically a social media platform where we can connect with other people. We can search our relatives or friends or anyone. We just have to search their names and their profiles will pop up, and we can know their lifestyles and so on. Rather than that, we can also express our emotions too. For example, if I'm excited about something, I can give a status by saying, I'm really excited to watch Venom 3. And people can react on my post. Also, they can comment. So based on their comments and reacts, I get to know what they're thinking about my emotions or my post. I've been using Facebook for almost 10 years. Maybe back in 2014, first I opened my Facebook account in this website, and from there I kept using it. There is a option in Facebook which is called Facebook Marketplace, where we can people usually sell their used products, so I can buy goods in a reasonable price from there. This is a good deal. Rather than that, we can use Facebook in emergency situations. For example, if there is a fire breakout and I want to show this to the whole world, I can go live and people can see and comment and react and everything. They can also mention others too. So this feature is really interesting. And there are certain pages where some people post educational videos. There are pages where news portals basically, and we can learn what's happening around us. So that's why I think I spend most of my time in this website, because I get to know a lot from here and I can connect with lots of people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nafeez. That is the end of your part 2. Now let's move on to see যে উনি কি good things করেছেন and কি mistakes করেছেন। উনি একটা particular place-এ people বলতে গিয়ে maybe slip of tongue হইতেই পারে আমাদের, এখানে উনি বলে ফেলেছেন peoples, and rather than that বারবার চলে আসছিল around 2 or 3 times আমি শুনেছি। Rather than that again is not the correct term. We should use other than that. First, I opened Facebook. এখানে একটু vocabulary-টাকে আমরা একটু heavy করতে পারতাম. For example, when I commenced my journey of Facebook, এভাবে বলতে পারতাম। And তার একটা particular heavy, একটা thick accent আছে, যার কারণে উনি যখন deal, which is a good deal বলতে গিয়ে এমনভাবে বলেছেন as if it sounded like it is a good deal. So pronunciation, if we have a particular thick accent, we'll have to be careful about our pronunciations as well, because pronunciation চারটা criteria মধ্যে একটা যেখানে out of band 9 এ মার্কিং করা হয়ে থাকে। So pronunciation এর ক্ষেত্রে আমরা খেয়াল রাখবো যেন আমরা ভুল উচ্চারণ না করে থাকি। We need to pronounce just the way the native speakers do. All right, that is the end of part 2. Now let's move on to part 3 and দেখি Mr. Nafeez part 3 তে কেমন করেন। All right. So now you've been telling me about a website that you often use. Now I would like to ask some general questions related to this. So how do you think the internet will change people's buying habits in the future?
Well, I think it's already changing people's behaviors, because people like to buy things which appear in their feeds. So people don't want to waste their time by visiting the store. It's more easy and convenient to buy things from online. For example, if I want to buy a t-shirt, it would be a hassle for me to search an individual product that I'm searching in the stores. But if I go online, it will be very easy and time consuming for me, so that I can find that product easily. So it's already changing and it will change in the future more.
What are the pros and cons of shopping online?
Well, there are lots of advantages as well as disadvantages. In the bright side, people can utilize their time while buying products from online, and they can also review their products from the comments and so on, and they might get a better deal from there. And on the other hand, there are downsides too. We might get lower quality food product. I had a bad experience back in the days when I ordered metal glue gun and they delivered me a plastic glue gun. So I was very disappointed. And people might get scammed too.
So do you think that parents should supervise their children's use of the internet?
Well, I think this is really important because internet is a wide area. In here we can find good stuffs and bad stuffs too. Children, especially young children, do not know the differences between good and bad. So they might get into cyberbullying, they can get scammed, and they might also get into a bad influence if they don't have supervision from their parents. So I think this is really important for children for their parents to supervise their children.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nafeez. That is the end of your IELTS speaking test. Okay, part 3-তে উনি অনেক ভালো and organized ওয়েতে অ্যান্সার করেছেন, কিন্তু এখানে সেখানে কিছু প্রবলেম্যাটিক ইস্যুস ছিল। ফর এক্সাম্পল, ওনার ঠিক অ্যাকসেন্টের কারণে again হ্যাসেল ওয়ার্ডটাকে শোনা গিয়েছে হ্যাজেল, as if মাঝখানে double Z আছে and not double S. So whenever there is a double S, we need to say hassle. It should be an S sound. Only people's behavior বলেছেন, what could have been said to make it more vocabulary heavy is consumer behavior. এর পাশাপাশি উনি অনেক বেশি fillers and pauses use করছিলেন, যেটা part 3-তে is often found to the people who are actually struggling to generate ideas. Nafeez not necessarily was struggling, but ওনাকে যেটা করতে হবে আরেকটু ফ্লুয়েন্টলি অ্যান্সার করতে হবে। সো ফ্লুয়েন্সিতে একটু হালকা করে মার্ক কাটা যাবে। উনি একটা পার্টিকুলার প্লেসে গ্রামাটিক্যাল মিস্টেক করেছেন, which was চিলড্রেন্স বলা যাবে না, বলতে হবে চিলড্রেন, বিকজ অনেকগুলো চাইল্ড মিলে চিলড্রেন হয় and not children's. So overall উনি অনেক ভালো করেছেন। This was not vocabulary heavy একটা টেস্ট। এখানে ক্লিয়ার কমিউনিকেশনের মাধ্যমে উনি অনেক ভালো করে তার আইডিয়াগুলোকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট অ্যান্ড আর্টিকুলেট করেছেন। So for that I will give him the entire whole band score of band 8. So congratulations, Mr. Nafeez, and that is the end of the video. Thank you for tuning in.